should ever call 99999. It's a forbidden sequence, whispered about in hushed tones, known only to those who dare to seek the unimaginable. The legend goes like this. If you dial the number after midnight, you'll hear a voice on the other end, soft and chilling, offering you anything you desire. A wish, a secret, a moment of power. But nothing comes without a cost. For every wish granted, a price is paid in blood. The moment you utter your request, you seal your fate. The voice will ask for nothing except your life. And when the sun rises, you will be gone, swallowed by an unseen force. The urban legend has spread like wildfire, horrifying those who hear it. Some say it's just a story. Others swear they've felt the cold grip of death after making the call. And in 2002, the legend was brought to the screen in the horrifying film 99999. It's a tale that lingers, a dark invitation you should never, ever answer. In the shadowed corners of Maple Hill Park, Alabama, lies a playground drenched in death and sorrow, known as the Dead Children's Playground. It sits next to the Maple Hill Cemetery, a final resting place for dozens of children who perished during the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918. Their spirits, restless and angry, are said to haunt the swings and slides, forever trapped between life and death. Late at night, when the moon casts long shadows across the park, eerie sounds can be heard. The creak of the swing sets moving without wind, the faint laughter of children too young to understand the weight of their fate. Some say that if you stand near the playground after dark, you'll feel a chill, an oppressive presence that fills the air, as if something, someone is watching you from the darkness. Those brave enough to visit the playground claim to see the swings moving on their own, as if pushed by invisible hands. Others have reported hearing the soft, disembodied whispers of children pleading to be Notice the sounds that unsettle those who dare to linger. Some have felt a tug on their clothing, a cold hand brushing against their skin, as if the lost children of Maple Hill are reaching out for company, forever seeking the warmth of life they lost so long ago. If you hear their voices, you may never leave the playground, and perhaps you may never want to.
In the dark corners of Fairfax County, Virginia, lurks a tale so twisted it leaves a chill, even in the bravest hearts. The legend of the Bunny Man is whispered in hushed tones, a haunting memory of the night he first appeared, a figure in a ragged, filthy rabbit costume, eyes blazing with madness, clutching an axe. It began in 1970, on a cold October night. A young couple parked their car near an old bridge, hoping for a quiet moment alone. Suddenly, they heard a scraping sound, metal dragging against stone, then a bone-chilling voice snarling, "Get off my land." In the dim light, they saw him, the Bunny Man. He lifted his axe high, and with a swift, furious swing, shattered their windshield. Shrieking, the couple sped off, but the image of the crazed man, fur-matted with dirt and blood, etched itself into their minds. Since that night, stories have spread, each one more horrifying than the last. Some say he's the ghost of an escaped asylum patient who hides in the woods, haunting the county in search of revenge. Others claim he's a restless spirit, doomed to stalk the shadows forever, fueled by a rage he can't control. They say that if you dare to visit the bridge at midnight, you might hear the sound of his axe scraping the ground, his ghostly form lingering in the shadows, waiting for another soul to claim. People swear they've seen him, his silhouette under the moonlight, his eyes gleaming from the depths of the forest. And one thing is certain: once you see the Bunny Man, you'll never forget the sight of his axe, the echo of his growl, or the terror that will haunt your dreams.
In the murky depths of the Pacific coast, beneath waves that hide countless mysteries, lurks a creature known to locals as Cadborosaurus, or simply Caddy. Tales of this monstrous sea serpent have haunted the people of British Columbia for generations. Dark, fearsome, and elusive, Caddy is said to dwell in the cold, shadowy waters of Cadboro Bay, emerging only when least expected to send shivers down the spines of those who dare venture too close. Those who claim to have seen Caddy describe it as a long, sinuous beast, its body twisting and coiling through the water with terrifying grace. Its head, reptilian and cold, rises silently from the waves, eyes glinting with a predatory intelligence, as if sizing up its next victim. The creature's mouth, lined with razor-sharp teeth, opens in a silent scream, promising a swift end to anything that crosses its path. Witnesses say that, at night, its scales reflect a ghostly shimmer, a faint glow that disappears as quickly as it appears, swallowed up by the ocean's darkness. Fishermen have reported feeling an eerie stillness in the water, and a natural quiet that settles before Caddy surfaces. Boats have been found mysteriously overturned, nets shredded and equipment destroyed. Some swear they've seen bodies, mangled and broken, washed ashore, victims they believe of this ancient, merciless predator. Legends say that Caddy is as old as the ocean itself, a survivor from a forgotten age, hungry and restless in its eternal watch. And if you ever find yourself alone on the waters of Catborough Bay, be wary. You might just glimpse a shadow beneath your boat. Feel the icy chill of something massive brushing against you from below. But remember, if you see Caddy, it's already too late. In the hushed corridors of high schools and dark corners of the internet, whispers of Carmen Winstead's name bring a chilling shudder to those who know her story. Carmen was just 16 when her life ended in one of the cruelest ways imaginable, a life stolen by her so-called friends and left to fester in the shadows of a sewer drain. One cold gray afternoon, Carmen's classmates cornered her by an old sewer. Teasing turned into shoving, and a sudden push sent her tumbling into the darkness below. The fall was brutal. She landed neck first on the cold, damp concrete, her final scream swallowed by the depths of the sewer. Her friends, faces pale with shock, ran, never confessing what they'd done. They claimed it was an accident, just a prank gone wrong. But the truth was much darker. Now, they say Carmen's spirit wanders, restless and vengeful, seeking justice for the betrayal she suffered. Those who receive her story in a chain message are warned. If you don't spread this tale, Carmen will come for you, and many who ignore the warning pay a terrible price. There are chilling accounts of those who laughed off the message, only to be found later with twisted necks, faces frozen in terror. Just like Carmen's last moments, some claim to have seen her, a shadowy figure lurking in the dim glow of streetlights, her eyes wide, cold and empty, staring as if from beyond the grave. Others swear they've heard her whisper, a faint ghostly voice saying, "I'm still here." So, when you read Carmen Winstead's story, remember, she is waiting, somewhere beyond the veil, for those who ignore her tale. And if you choose not to share it, don't be surprised if you hear a soft whisper in the dead of night, or feel icy fingers brush your neck, reminding you that Carmen has never really left. In the dimly lit chambers of Spanish folklore lies a chilling legend about the Castilian lisp, a haunting echo that whispers through the language itself. According to the tale, centuries ago, there was a Spanish king whose tongue bore a strange affliction. His speech was marked by an unnatural lisp, a soft but chilling hiss that crept into every word, bending the sounds like twisted vines. This was no ordinary speech impediment. Many believed it was a curse, some ancient hex upon the royal bloodline. The legend says that the king's court, fearful of invoking his wrath, began to mimic his lisping speech, imitating the soft, eerie sounds that dripped from his lips like poison. They say the lisp spread like an infection, starting with the nobles, then seeping into the commoners' tongues, and finally swallowing the entire land. It became known as the Castilian lisp, a language haunted by a ghostly sound, forever marking Spanish speech with the king's cursed voice. But there are darker layers to the tale. Some say that those who refused to mimic the king's speech met a horrifying end, found with throats slit, their final words etched in blood. Shadows of resistance were snuffed out like candles, until all that remained was the unnatural lisp echoing through Spain. To this day, in the twisting alleys of old Spanish towns, people claim to hear it. Late at night, when the streets are silent and the air grows cold, you might catch a ghostly hiss, the faint chilling echo of a sound long forgotten but never gone. Some say it's the king himself, his spirit lingering, enforcing his cursed speech on the living. Others believe that the lisp is a specter in the language, an ancient whisper that slips from the mouth of those who speak it, bound to a promise no one remembers making. So, when you hear the peculiar sound of the Castilian lisp, listen closely, for you might just hear a voice from beyond, a phantom king, still whispering, still lingering, haunting the language of his people with every breath. In the shadowed alleys of Greenock, Scotland, lurks a figure known only as the Catman, a creature half hidden in mystery and spine-chilling whispers. Since the 1970s, stories of this eerie figure have crept through the town, haunting those who hear them. They say he moves like a ghost, a filthy, gaunt figure with wild eyes that gleam with something both human and unearthly. His hands, calloused and dirt-streaked, reach out to catch his prey, rats, which he devours with chilling primal hunger, blood staining his fingers and lips. But it's not only his taste for rats that stirs terror. The legend claims he lives among wild cats, moving silently alongside them as though he were one of their own. The cats accept him, even protect him, slinking through the shadows as his ghostly guardians. Locals swear that on quiet nights, you can see him crouched low, his face barely visible in the dim light, with wild cats prowling around him in a tight, watchful circle. Rumors say that if you lock eyes with the Catman, you'll feel an unnatural chill too shaken by his hollow gaze, feeling the weight of something ancient and unbroken. To this day, people pass the alleys of Greenock with hushed steps, casting wary glances into the darkness, knowing the Catman might be watching, his eyes glinting in the night, waiting, forever lingering in the shadows, more ghost than man, bound to the darkness alongside his feline companion.